My baby brother does better than that.
Hello there, people of the internet. I'm Curse Blake, and today I'm going to be playing some Thief 2: The Metal Age, a game which I absolutely love, and I kind of want to share some of my thoughts with you guys as I go back and revisit it. There's going to be kind of a slightly different video than what I've been making in the past. I kind of want to make something just a little bit different. Anyways, let's just jump in. So, as you probably can tell, I haven't been making a ton of content recently, and I think that's probably because A, I've been lazy, and B, I've kind of not really had anything that's sort of wowed me. This is one of those games that I played when I was a kid, heaps. So it was actually super fun going back and revisiting Thief. The one thing I will say, coming back to playing Thief 2 again, is there are no other games like this. There are games that are stealthy, and there are games that have the ability to steal things. Most RPGs give you the chance to steal stuff if you want to, but nothing does stealth and thievery as good as Thief. That sound just is so evocative to me. It just hits my dopamine. And specifically the first two Thief games. I find that Thief 2: The Metal Age is better because that's the game I played the most of, and I kind of like that it's more centered on the thievery aspect. Like you have to go in and get enough money to pay your landlord, and you get to spend the money in the next mission buying gear and things like that. I feel like it's very centered around trying to get as much loot as possible, and you will keep going out of your way to get the more risky loot. Whereas if it was just a number, you're like, hey, I need to get to this number, you just do it and then be done. Like Serial Cleaners has that stealthy aspect, but it also has that aspect of you just need to clean up this much of the site before you can leave. But it doesn't have that hook, like, oh, I want to get more and more and more. I want to try and get all the treasure that's in this level. I've gone through and looked at how much treasure I can get, and I sometimes would play it over and over again, trying to find those other pieces of treasure. And even then, just as I played that last one, I found a piece of treasure that I've never seen before, unlocked a bonus objective that I didn't even know that existed. And that's what I find so great coming back and revisiting these games, is you find things that you never saw the first time. And you can do this 10, 20, and in this case, 25 years after this game came out. I never knew that existed. I didn't know anyone else who played this game. I've never watched anyone else play this game. And I found something new today, and I think that that's really awesome. What is that? New objective? What would a wedding be without rings? Get 2 for Basso and Genevieve. Or Genevieve. God, I have legitimately never done that. I didn't even know that that was a thing. That's so cool. What I noticed the most when I came back into playing Thief 2: The Metal Age again was how niche this game was, and how I haven't been able to find a game that is similar to this pretty much ever. There are games that are similar. Gloomwood obviously takes heavy inspiration from Thief, and the Dishonored series obviously has that same stealthy, steely vibe. Gloomwood is probably the most similar to Thief. Its art style is basically exactly the same, the combat is very similar, and the stealth even has the same mechanic with the light gem, just done a little bit differently. I tend to find the equipment is more geared towards combat than Thief is, where you have things like moss arrows and rope arrows, which really don't get used to kill guards or ever do any damage. So I always seem to skip the first mission when I played Thief 2: The Metal Age, because it just seemed a little bit not like the rest of the missions. It felt a lot less expansive, and it felt kind of hamstrung by the fact that it was almost an escort mission. And I find escort missions don't really work super well in the whole Thief genre. You have to get Basso to get to a certain door to unlock it to get his girlfriend out so they can elope, basically. And in doing that, you do get to steal a lot of stuff, but it just doesn't feel as exciting as the later missions. Normally what I would do with this is I would save the game right at the end of the mission, so I could just come back anytime I wanted to play Thief and just skip that mission. And half the reason for that also is I feel like the first mission was almost like a poor man's tutorial. Not that it really showed you how to do heaps of stuff, but it just didn't feel as fun or expansive as the other missions. I found that the no killing thing also kind of killed my fun as well. I know that sounds really stupid from a Thief game, and one of the things I talk about a lot with Thief is that you don't have to kill everybody, but it's nice having the choice to do that when stuff goes sideways. And I found with this mission, if you make one mistake, you basically have to start over. It's not that bad of a mission, I just don't find it as exciting as the other missions in Thief, and it feels way more linear than the other Thief levels do. And that's why I think that I found that I tended to skip it a lot more often than the other ones. I think Thief 2, The Metal Age, also has a really great AI system, even if it's a bit janky by modern standards. I think the fact that the characters will listen and even slightly see when you peer around the corner and then just be like, that was nothing.
Thought I saw something.
Or they'll hear something and be like, yep, cool, that's definitely something. We need to chase that.
Is someone...
Holy shit!
Dead! Don't test me!
Fuck. I mean, I can't kill anyone, unfortunately.
Can I get some help over here?
Oops. I knocked him out, I promise. And they will chase you for a long time, but eventually they'll give up if you find a good enough spot to hide. And that's really the only issue that I have, is sometimes it feels like when you do find a good spot to hide, they'll just kind of forget that your existence. They won't have that kind of thing that they'll be on edge. It's like, there's definitely someone here. But they won't go totally crazy and make it almost impossible to finish the levels. I do remember watching a video on this way back when. I might react to it at some point. But talking about how complicated the actual AI is in this game, especially for the time period. It just had to be so complex to actually have decent AI and not just like, I think the thing was trying to figure out how to have something that could see you and then once it's discovered you, lose you and then go back to doing normal things, which I think it's achieved fairly well, but not the best in the world. And the dialogue is actually quite good. So this game came out in 2000. I think it's pretty fantastic for a game that came out 25 years ago. I love how the stealth in Thief 2 kind of makes it super stressful, but also in a good way. I really like how in Thief 2 there isn't a whole heap of hand-holding like there is in Thief: The Dark Project. In Thief: The Dark Project, they actually go through a whole tutorial and show you how to be as stealthy as possible. But I guess they just assumed that you've played Thief: The Dark Project when you're playing Thief 2, because they don't tell you about the light gem. They don't tell you about the ground making different noises if you're standing on wood or steel or carpet. And I kind of like that. I like that there's no hand-holding. The actual stealth in this game is still fantastic, and I think it's one of the best ones I've ever played. The fact that you can still use the light gem, and guards notice when you walk on steel versus walking on carpet. And I think later on during the game when you get certain equipment like moss arrows, it really does make a huge difference when you step on metal versus carpet. And I think it's those tiny nuances that makes me keep coming back to Thief. There is a deep stealth element to this game, and that's why I love it. Something fantastic about this game when you actually get someone and then it's suddenly quiet after the footsteps disappear. It just evokes such a strong memory in me of just like utter relief. Make sure no one can see this guy. I think this was probably my favorite thing that I used to do when I played this as a kid, because I played this kind of when it came out, so I would have been like 8 or 9 years old, I guess, maybe. Or maybe a little bit older, but I played this when, like, I think it might have even been in demo. So I'd always kind of make up all these little stories of how these people got here. Obviously, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just trying to hide the body by stacking heaps of crates on it. But something that I always used to do with the Thief games was kind of make up little stories about how the guards tripped and fell down the stairs. So if anyone ever found them, they were just like, oh, this must have been a horrible accident, rather than just someone came in and stole all the shit. But I mean, obviously, I stole all the stuff too, so they probably would have suspected that. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it, because I'm going to be making more of this on tons of different videos, and hopefully way more kind of revisits. Like, I've got a couple of games that I really want to revisit at the moment. I know that Project Warlock 2 is now fully out, I think, so I'll probably be exploring that. I know Gloomwood has a ton of updates that I haven't even really explored yet, so I think I might do a fresh playthrough of that. There's a couple other games that I'm super excited about, Soul Reaver, and I'm still playing through Warcraft 3, and I want to go back and play Warcraft 2. I have so many projects, and I'm super excited to share all that with you guys. I would like to go back and revisit all the games in the series and make a more expansive video on that, so hopefully I get around to doing that at some point. I'll add it to my list of ever-expanding projects that I have. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.